This is the most valuable local SEO training you will ever watch. If you are a local service business doing at least 6 figures a year in revenue and you are not in the top 3 on Google Maps whenever someone searches for my service near me, you are losing out on millions of dollars of revenue every single year without even knowing about it. And the section that I'm talking about is if someone was to search plumber near me, and I'm talking about this section right here. This is called the Google Map Pack section. This can drive literally millions of dollars to your business and revenue every single year. Showing up on this section on Google is how we've scaled multiple local businesses to 7 figures per year. There's this home remodeler that we started working with. We used a local SEO strategy and they generated $600,000 in just estimates in just 2 weeks. And I talked to the guy 2 weeks later and he did secure $200,000 worth of deals. And you can see the video on our channel right here. There's also this electrician that used the strategy alongside Google Ads to double his business, and he's now on track to hit 1 million in revenue by 2026. And he started his business like around 2023, so still relatively a new business. We're using this strategy across multiple different businesses, and we are seeing an insane amount of inquiries come through. So this is one of the lead tracking systems that we have for one of our clients. So we see all the calls that come in and we see like a nice summary as well. And we're able to see all the calls that they've had in the span of just a few days. And we have a scoring of all these leads. And all of these phone calls came from the Google Business Profile. And the Google Business Profile is this section right here. So in around 3 days, they got around 10 different phone calls, all that were qualified and are ready to spend a lot of dollars. And this is just within the span of a few days. So we know 100% that this does work. So in the next 15 minutes, you're going to learn what to do for the Google Business Profile to actually get results like that. You're going to learn how to track your leads so you know how much money you're actually making from this whole campaign. You're going to learn how to show up on AI because that's the future, and how to optimize your website for this. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Munir. I run Vixel Studio, a local SEO and Google Ads agency that's worked with over 100 local service businesses. My goal is to show you our system so you can learn and implement this for yourself, or so you can work with our team so we can do this for you and grow your business. All right, so let's talk about the Google Business Profile, which is going to be the key thing of getting your business to show up here to make a lot more money. If you're not in the top 3 map results whenever someone searches for your service near me, you basically don't exist. And the majority of the calls goes to those 3 people right over here. So one of the main factors of actually showing up over here is actually your physical address. So Google heavily favors real verified addresses in the city that you serve. So I search for plumber near me, and you're going to notice that it's going to show me plumbers that have a physical address near my side of the city. So as I hover over them, it's going to show their PIN, and it's going to show how close they are to me. The reason that Google picks these businesses is because they have a physical address near where I am in the city. Now, Google gives you 2 ways to show your address. You can either show a physical address and have it be public, or you can have a service area business and then hide your address. But if you're in a competitive market, you basically will never show up if you decide to be a service area business and decide to hide your address. Your address has to be public. So even if I search for more businesses down here, you're going to see that almost every single one of them, as I hover over them, will have an address. You'll see that none of them are service area business. Maybe this one is. So this one is a service area business and he's kind of way lower, but that's why he shows up way lower, is because he has a service area business. It doesn't pin to a specific address, but all these ones do. So now you're probably wondering, how do I get like a big office? It's not so much money. Not necessarily. What we do is we get a small legit office in a co-working space and we put your brand on the door, and then we help you verify that Google Business Profile, and we treat it as like a hybrid location. You don't need actual foot traffic to your office. You just need a pin on the map. And this is especially true for service businesses where you are going out to the person's home to give them a quote. It's rare that people actually go to you to actually do business. I have an entire guide about how to actually verify your Google Business Profile. It's called How to Get Your Google Business Profile Verified Step by Step. And I show you every single step of how to actually get an address and actually verify it on Google, so you can check off this first physical address box right here. Doing this alone will help you get so many leads. It's unbelievable, especially if you have a lot of reviews. Then we're going to talk about the primary category. So this sounds stupid, but it's actually one of the biggest ranking levers. So I'm going to do this example for a plumber. So if you search for a plumber and your city, so if I search for a plumber Toronto, I want to pay attention to these categories right here. It says plumber right here. You want to make sure that your primary category is set to be the exact same thing as everyone who's ranking over here. Now, this sounds intuitive, but you'd be surprised of how many people actually get it wrong. They'll put something else like contractor or home builder or something else in this category. Now, it can get nuanced based on what actual service that you provide. So if you're a bathroom renovation company, there is actually a bathroom remodeler primary category, as you can see right here. So if your main niche is bathroom remodeling, then I would set the primary category to be that. It can get confusing because a lot of bathroom remodelers also do kitchens and stuff. So they would rather set their category to be construction company. But in this case, it's actually better to choose bathroom if that's your main thing. So look at what your main competitors are doing and then just follow them because they're already ranking. Next is the actual business name. So the actual name of your company actually has a huge impact as to how high you rank. This company, Happy Bathroom Renovation, shows up higher just because they have the word bathroom renovation in the name of their company. The way to safely include the name of the service and the name of your city in your actual Google Business profile is to get an actual legal doing business as license from your state. A doing business as license is a license that you can get from your state or from your government that says, I am this business, but I'm also able to operate a new business under this name as well. It's not forming a new corporation. It's just filing a new name under your existing business. If your company is called ABC Contracting and you're a plumber, getting the DBA for ABC Plumbing, which has the name of your service and the name of your city right here, will help you rank a lot higher very quickly. The thing is, Google may crack down if you are trying to add in the name of the service or the city too aggressively. So if you're going to do this, I would back it up with paperwork so that if Google flags you or if they keep changing your name back, you actually have a legal document saying that, no, this is the actual name of my business. Next is reviews and photos, and this is the boring work that no one wants to do. It should be no surprise to you that if you have a lot of reviews, you're more likely to show up at the top, so you need to find any strategy you can to get as many reviews as possible. And you want a very simple process. It could be after every job, you text a client a direct review link and ask them to mention what you did and where in the actual review that they write for you. If you're wondering where you can get that review link, just search up the name of your business right here. You should see these buttons right here, and you want to press on the Ask for Reviews button. And then Google will give you a link and a QR code. And if someone wants to put in this link into their browser, it'll take them directly to leave you a Google review. I also tell all of our clients to use these Amazon cards and ask the client to tap on their phone when you're right in front of them. So these are physical review cards that someone can tap with your phone. And then as soon as they tap, it'll prompt them to open up that same Google review link. I like this strategy a lot more because when you ask someone in person to leave you a review right there and then, it's more awkward for them to delay it and say it later. So I would always recommend using this first and then texting them after if they said no. And for photos on your Google Business profile, I would always want to upload real project photos, your trucks, your team, and don't upload any stock photos. This is what prospects actually look at before they call you. So if I search for Plumber Toronto, you see that this company has a lot of reviews. They have 1,800, and they clearly showcase their brand and their team, and they have an award right here. So you can tell that this is a very reputable company, and you'd be surprised at how many people actually look at these photos before they decide to call you. So you want to make sure that this is very clean and very professional. If you just fix these 4 things on your Google Business profile, you would be ahead of 80% of local competitors. I can't tell you how many people we get on a call with and they have none of these set up. So now let's make sure that the leads you actually get show up as money in your bank account. So let's talk about how to track leads. So most business owners have no clue which channel that's actually making the money. The goal should be to figure out what marketing channel is doing the best. So if you want more leads, you can scale it by investing more into that actual marketing channel. So the first step you want to do is you want to track the phone calls and where they came from their source. So you can use different call tracking tools. We use Go High Level. There's also CallRail. And these platforms allow you to create different numbers for your Google Business profile, for Google Ads, and to track all the different website organic traffic. This is how we're able to know how many calls came from the Google Business profile right here, but also see how many calls came from paid search or from Google Ads as well. All of these different phone numbers now forward to your main line, but not every call is labeled by a source. So aside from phone calls, you also want to track how the leads came in from their forms. So an easy way is to add, how did you hear about us in your form? And that can look something like this. So at the bottom, you can say, how did you hear about us? And then people can choose the different options. What we were able to do is actually add a hidden field that takes information from where their client came from, and then it adds it to the form that they submit. So this is an example of a form lead. They wanted to replace their kitchen counters with quartz, and we were able to see that this came from Google Ads and it came from this landing page. So we know that this form submission came from Google Ads 100%. The next step is you want to tie the actual leads to the actual revenue that they generated for you. So you can set up a simple Google sheet and mark down the date, the name, the source, the actual service that you completed, whether they closed or not, and the actual job value. So every time a lead becomes a job, you update the row. So this is as easy as going into this notes right here and then adding a note saying closed for 10K, for example. Now, instead of saying SEO feels like it's working, but I'm not sure, now you can literally say in the last 90 days, we spent this much on SEO, and this is how much money we made from all of our SEO leads. And you want to do this so you know when it's time to pour more gas on what's already working instead of just guessing. If you know SEO was responsible for $500,000 of your revenue, then doubling your marketing investment into that should actually lead to a lot more than $500,000 the next year. By the way, if you're listening to this and you're thinking this sounds great, but I'm never going to set all this up by myself, that's tell you what my team does all day. If you click on the first link in the description and you want us to build the tracking and the campaigns for you, you can book a call with my team. We'll give you a roadmap. We're going to show you everything that we're going to do month to month so we can show you how we can generate you more leads from showing up on Google. Now let's talk about the new thing that no one's thinking about, but your buyers are already using, which is AI search. So a lot of people are searching for a plumber city or plumber near me, but there's also a lot of people that are going on ChatGPT saying, who is the best plumber in this area? And these AI platforms don't just guess and make up a random answer. It actually pulls from your website content, it pulls from your reviews across different platforms, not just Google, and it pulls from your mentions and backlinks from other websites. So if you want to show up on these answers, this is what you need to do. You want to make local specific content about your service and your exact city. So if you are a kitchen remodeler, don't make content about how to remodel a kitchen that could apply to anyone in the entire world. There are huge websites that are way bigger than you that are making content that is trying to rank internationally across different countries, and you're not trying to compete with them. Instead, what you're trying to do is you want to write how much does a kitchen remodel cost in Dallas in 2026? Or if you're a roofer, you can write the best time to replace your roof in Toronto. If you notice that all these content ties your service and your city, and sometimes it's optional, your year together. And the reason we want to make content like this is because there's not much of this content out there, and you are the local expert in your area. And if you're the expert in your area and you're the only one that's actually written content about this topic, then this is what the AI models are going to use to reference when they're giving an answer. The more valuable information you can add into the blog, the better, especially pricing. And you can gather ideas of your questions of what to post based on what people are asking you on consultations. The next thing, if you want to show up on AI search, is get reviews on multiple platforms, not just Google. So Google Reviews is actually not the only place where AI models pull information from. They are actually referencing reviews from Yelp, Better Business Bureau, HomeStars, Angie's, and whatever is big in your niche. And if you want to get the source of what GPT is actually using to determine who's the best blank in my area, you can figure that out very easily. So if I search for who is the best plumber in Toronto, it's going to give me a list of people right here. But you're probably wondering, how did it decide to show this company first? So if you go to the bottom and press sources, it's going to show all the websites that concluded its decision. So there's this website called DrainWorks. There's this website called The Best Toronto. There's also HomeStars right here. So if I want to show up on this answer, I should try to get my account or get my company on HomeStars. I should try to get my company featured on this blog right here as well. And if I show up on the majority of these places right here, then my chances of showing up on this answer is way higher. And then the last step is how to optimize your website. So this is where everyone will land right before they contact you, especially if you're in a mid or high ticket service. So you need to make sure that your website is giving a great impression. And here's a simple way to think about how to optimize your website. You want to make one strong homepage, and then you want to have different specific service and location pages. So in the case of a plumber, you're going to see that on his homepage, he's going to talk about mainly just plumbing services in Toronto. And this is so that his homepage can rank for the main query, plumbing Toronto. But if you see on this section over here, he has a page for almost every single service that he offers as well. This is so that he can also show up for plumbing repair services in Toronto, and so that the AI models also know that he offers a service as well. You also want to make sure that the name of your service and the name of your city is very clear on the website. You don't want to make Google guess what you offer or what you offer. You want to make it extremely clear on what you do. So this is a home renovation company in Dallas, and you can see right here, they write Dallas's premier luxury home remodeling firm. They write this so that Google and AI models know exactly what this company does. And then on this upper section, you also want to include stuff like what you do, where you do it. If you have any strong proof, so any review count or years in business or photos, most people don't scroll down. So any big proof that you have, you want to show up as high as possible. And then you also want to add a main call to action like a request a quote or call now, which this website doesn't have. So that's the advice for the homepage, but the same advice also applies to all these other service pages as well. For each service page, you want to make sure that you write in the name of the service and the city as well very clearly. So if you're a home remodeler in Dallas, you want to have a kitchen remodeling page in Dallas, bathroom remodeling, and design build, etc. Each page that you make should have a hero section that states exactly what you do and where you do it. It should have an intro explaining what it is, a focus gallery of the project for that exact service, a simple process section, and then FAQ at the bottom where you can add in more content so that Google has even more context of what you do and where you do it. Google doesn't like ranking pages that have low amounts of content, so you want to add in the majority of your content at the bottom and an FAQ where it's easily foldable. So when your Google business profile, your content, and your tracking are all aligned like this, that's when you start getting the we're booked out for 3 weeks or even 3 months problem instead of the we need more leads problem. And this is the case with Nabil and Connor, who are both home remodelers who grew tremendously while doing local SEO with us. This is Nabil. He secured $300,000 in 2 months from SEO. And this is Connor, who got 40 leads and 11 estimates and a 30 times return on their investment with us. If you want to go deeper, I have a full 1 hour training that goes through everything that I talked about. It's called the Ultimate Local SEO Guide. I'll link it below in the description. And if you don't have the time and you want my team to do this for you, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. You can use the first link in the description to book a local SEO roadmap call. We'll audit where you are, show what's possible in your market, and if it makes sense, we'll also execute it for you as well. Either way, fix this stuff, and I promise you, you will not recognize your lead flow in 6 to 12 months from now. It's a lot of work, but no one does it, so that's why the opportunity is there for you to take it. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.